Well, yes, Mary very kindly asked me to talk about corporate membership. But right from the start, can I just say that this is just one element of any club strategy to develop membership. As Ken has just told us very eloquently, if you're going to go forward with membership, you've got to be positive, embrace flexibility, and above all, to see what works. And so corporate membership I see as one very important area, one area of focus in all of the things we need to think about in terms of developing membership. Other things, obviously, we need to think about is what does the club look like to the world outside? You know, what is your website like, social media presence, etc., etc. And I'm not talking about that this morning, but obviously it's very, very important that the club has a positive appearance to anyone considering joining it. And then the second question, how do we engage with potential Rotarians? And Andrea's story is indeed inspirational, which other people have said. She is an expert on how to engage with potential Rotarians. And there are lots of ways of doing that. And I think that's what any club needs to think about if you're aiming to increase your membership. And then what I'm very interested in is the third one, which is how do we engage with the community and in particular businesses. So I am now going to focus on that final one, which is indeed corporate membership. And at this point, I have to apologize because a lot of what I'm saying is about my own club, and I don't think it's good to go around talking about one's own club. But please, this could be any club in any district, in any cluster in Great Britain and Ireland. So it's a bit like Andrea's. It's a case study of something that has worked. And what it is all about is making Rotary relevant to business. And it is a growth strategy of a club that is most definitely working. At the moment, we have inducted 10 corporate members, and number 11 and number 12 are coming on stream very soon. So in another few months, we should have at least 12 corporate members and are talking to others. And they're all very, very different businesses, which I will come on to in a moment. So corporate membership increases the club's membership, and it's an alternative membership package. Okay, so what it does in essence is to involve a business, any organization, any corporation. It could be non-profit making or a profit-making business. It's offering a membership package to some of the employees of this organization in a way that is slightly different from all of us as individual Rotarians join Rotary. So what it does is increasing your club's membership, but also very importantly, you're expanding the club's network and visibility in the community. And members of the business gain access to Rotary Fellowship, lots of service opportunities, and with a much smaller time commitment than we as individual Rotarians give to Rotary. These people are working. They don't have time to come and sit down for a meal every week. So your club can really define corporate membership in any way it wishes, but the only formality that you have to do, which is actually very, very simple, is make sure this is represented in your club bylaws. And Mary, can I just say I'm very happy to share ANIC Club's bylaws with anyone on the call this morning through you who are interested to see how we have modified our bylaws to show that we do have corporate members. One thing that's very important to remember, a business, a company cannot be a Rotary member. Only people can be Rotarians. So we have to bear that in mind. Now, there are two models of corporate membership articulated by RI, and I'm just going to talk about the first one because this is the one I thoroughly recommend to any club who is interested in going down this route. So briefly, in this model, one person in the business is inducted into your club as a principal Rotary member. Okay, and then you can have another one or two or three, possibly four, but usually one, two, or three, who are called alternate members. So you've got a small group of people from the business with one principal Rotary member. But all of these people can come to your club meetings. All of them receive information about your service activities, your fellowship activities, anything that is going on that they would be interested in engaging with, just like any other club member. And the business only pays a subscription for one principal Rotary member. And that subscription is exactly the same as everybody else in the club pays. So all of our corporate members pay exactly the same as I pay as an individual member of the club. And your club is credited with the one member on Rotary DMS. So you are increasing your membership by the principal member belonging to the club. So to put this another way, what this is actually doing is sharing a club membership across a small group of people who are far too busy running their business to come to Rotary meetings on a full-time basis. And I can assure you from all the experience we have of this, that it is very, very successful, and there are benefits for all parties. Rotary Club, you have a new member, but very importantly, you are becoming known through the company that that member represents. One new member doesn't sound, a lot if you're working with 3 or 4 people, but you are becoming known throughout the company. And that is so important, because other people within the company, even if they're not Rotarians, they could well volunteer to help and support your activities and your events. So you're attracting members who would not otherwise have the time to join a Rotary Club. You're creating new partnerships that are going to become known throughout your community. You're increasing resources and capacity for service and capacity for sponsorship very significantly by having this company on board. And the company gains very significantly through its association with Rotary International. Let's remember that Rotary International is a huge global organization with many, many opportunities for people to engage with its learning center, so on and so forth, with international business networks, etc., etc. Employees become involved in volunteering. They can support your local projects, national projects, international projects, local community projects. The world of international business links is opened up through Rotary. Employees can gain new leadership skills and business skills. You can provide those opportunities through your service projects. And very importantly, it ticks all the boxes for corporate social responsibility, which is so important to most businesses in the world today. When the company gets round to writing its annual report and it talks about corporate social responsibility, which is enabled through the association with Rotary, that is very important to that company. And there are lots of opportunities for employees' personal development through being associated with a Rotary Club. Just one example, if there's a younger person, you could support them for RILA. That is just one example. But here you've got businesses who could well supply candidates for RILA to go on a free course. Now, that's the first model, which I recommend. I'm not going to talk about model 2. That is really moving in the direction of enterprise education, which Ken has talked about this morning. That's where the club charges for an agreed number of members, and then all are full active members of Rotary. Now, I'm going to very briefly let you know who our corporate members are. Not for any reasons of promoting these businesses, but I just want to illustrate that they come in all shapes and sizes. Okay, so there's a very, very nice spread of the logos of our corporate members. And very briefly, one of them is the Amick Garden, which is a medium-sized business, a garden open to the public, and attracts thousands, many, many thousands of visitors through the year, tourists and local people. And so our logo in that place is seen by many, many, many thousands of people. Blackshaws is a family-run car sales and repair company. Turnbulls is a food company, again, family-run, respected locally. Alncom are broadband providers, specialists in rural broadband solutions. Shakans is a very successful Indian restaurant. Then we have the high school, the school where we work on a very, very regular basis. We have an Interact club there. We engage with the Rotary youth competitions, coaching for sixth formers going to university, etc., etc. How wonderful to have the school as a corporate member. Then we have the Playhouse, which speaks for itself, a theatre. Now, the White Swan Hotel is where we actually meet. You know, nearly every club meets somewhere, and we have got the place where we meet on board as a corporate member. Ardgeffryn is an archaeological museum and distillery. And then last week, we inducted Hospice Care Northumberland. So the reason for just quickly going through those is just to demonstrate that corporate members do not have to be large multinational corporations. They don't have to be national companies. They can be the place where your club meets, a pub, a hotel, a golf club, and any of the range of places I've shown. Other corporate members in our district include a large college, they include a branch of a building society, etc., etc. So they can be any size, any shape, any form in your local area. And they engage in a very, very wide variety of ways. They do come to meetings, certainly not every week for the reasons that we've just talked about. Some of our principal members come, say, once a month. They come when they can. The alternate members, they also visit us from time to time. So we do see them in person, but not every week. We wouldn't expect that. Basically, they want to do things. They want to do things. And this links to what Ken just explained about the club needs to be vibrant and provide the opportunities that Rotary members are looking for. And they certainly sponsor us. Some of the businesses are very, very good at dipping into their corporate pockets and sponsoring us for various things. But this isn't just about getting money. They help us massively on the ground. They plant crocuses, they plant trees, they pick up litter, they clean beaches, they do a lot of local service activities at weekends, and they're very happy to come and do that. They judge youth competitions, they develop environmental projects with us. And another very interesting thing is they provide some wonderful speakers. You know, you've got all of these businesses who've got lots of employees who can talk, not just about the business, but about a variety of really, really interesting things. So we use our corporate members a lot in terms of speakers for club meetings. And a lot of our corporate members have a large customer base, notably the garden, the car company, the food company, the playhouse, the restaurant, etc. And having the Rotary wheel on display there with all of their thousands of customers, what an advertisement for Rotary is that? And I'll come back to that at the end. So all of these companies are embedded in the club's activities, and they are spreading the name of Rotary in various ways, very widely around the local districts. And this is so important, they are changing the nature of the club. And they're changing the nature of the club in various ways. They're bringing in younger Rotarians. Georgina here joined the club. She got very excited to hear about all the youth activities that we do. And she said, oh, that's great. I'd love to get involved with the Rota Kids schools, Interact Club, etc. Younger people are coming into our club because of corporate membership. Diversity. My goodness, our corporate members are doing something wonderful for diversity, which we have found so hard in rural Northumberland. And the other way that corporate members are changing the club is very significant. It's not measurable, but they are changing the way traditional Rotarians think about Rotary and what it means to be a Rotarian. They're changing mindsets. And our traditional members, some of whom have been in the club for 30, 40 years, they're all really happy about this. And they now realize that you don't have to be retired and come along to Rotary once a week to make a really significant contribution to Rotary. So they are changing a traditional club in a way that's actually very, very exciting. And I'm absolutely delighted about that. So where to start? Well, my strong advice, if you don't have corporate members and you're thinking about where to start this, of course, it's personal contact. Knock on the door, go into the company, and particularly if you've got a link in your club with that company, if somebody knows the boss, the company director, the CEO, the director or whatever, go and have a conversation. Just have a conversation, and along the lines of, we are interested in our community, you're interested in supporting the community, let's talk. How can we get together to do this? And I've been into the various corporates that we have, talked to them, and I can honestly tell you, I didn't have any difficulty in persuading any of them to come on board into the Rotary Partnership. And particularly if you're stressing corporate social responsibility and all of the benefits and the business can gain out of belonging to Rotary. Very, very important to promote a sense of belonging. If they're not coming to Rotary meetings every week, they must be kept engaged. Otherwise, you're going to lose them. So important to keep them involved in the club. And a club liaison Rotarian, I would advise, is someone who writes to the corporate members at least every month with the club's program, let them know what's happening on a week-by-week basis, who's speaking, what activities are going on, are there special things like a quiz night or a special dinner or anything that they would have a specific invitation for, so they get very regular contact with the club, even if they're not coming on a weekly basis. That is so important that they feel they belong to this thing called a Rotary Club. And corporate membership doesn't necessarily start and end there. They are taking the Rotary message, Rotary values, the Rotary logo, all being spread around all of the employees who are in that business. And in most companies, probably all of them, the employees are going to be younger than the average age of people in the Rotary Club. So that in itself is extremely beneficial. Could be, if the business is large enough, that in the fullness of time, the employees could start a Rotaract club within the business. Or even a satellite club could be spun off if several other employees become interested in Rotary through this route. Innovative ways of thinking about Rotary meetings. This is a business. They start work at whatever. Maybe some of them would meet for breakfast before the Rotary Club starts. And there are now 3 clubs in my district which have breakfast meetings, and they actually get more attendance than to the regular club meeting, which happens later in the day. They do work. Breakfast meetings do work. You may well have them in your district, and forgive me if I'm suggesting something that you're already very familiar with. Maybe a few of the employees would like to start a club in their own right. And very importantly, perhaps they'd like to join your Rotary Club in their own right as full members. And finally, corporate members attract others. And when we started this, we got a small number of corporate members. And then when we went to others and said, would you like to join our Rotary Club? And we said that, you know, the Garden's a member and the theatre's a member and Blackshaws is a member and so on. You know, eyes lit up, you know, and they thought, wow, if they're corporate members, this is obviously something which is really, really good. And we'd like to be in on the action. And so because we've got certain members, others wanted to come on board. And then a few weeks ago, something very exciting happened. A business came to us and said, we would like to join you as a corporate member. Oh, that was such a special moment because they had heard that these other people were corporate members and they voluntarily came to our club and said they would like to join. So what I'm saying is this whole thing does gather momentum, and Rotary is becoming the place to be seen in town, which is very exciting. There is a corporate member plaque, and the agreed, approved design for this, and it must be of the approved design, is in the toolkit, which Mary and others know how to access, and in fact all of you can access it if you have My Rotary accounts. So that is the approved design, which is on the left-hand side the name of your club with the Rotary wheel, and on the right-hand side, corporate member. And we have purchases for all of our corporate members. The image on the right of the screen here is in the school, which is why the Duke of Edinburgh Award is underneath it. And every parent, every teacher, every visitor, every student who goes into the school sees the Rotary wheel. They can see that that school, which has got 2,000 students, is a member of Rotary. And the plaques are on the doors, the windows, whatever, of all of our corporate members. So all of the members that have a lot of people passing through get to see the Rotary wheel. And there's a sticker version of the plaque which can go onto windows of businesses if they don't have appropriate walls and doors, that they can put them there. So everyone that goes into the Indian restaurant to collect their takeaway sees that the Indian restaurant is a corporate member of the Rotary Club. I just think this is all very, very exciting. Just think, I'm not in any way suggesting that every club in the land is going to get 10 or 12 corporate members. But if on average, every club got 3 or 4 corporate members, Ken would be smiling all the way, because Rotary Great Britain would have thousands more members just through the corporate route. And to sum up, Mary, this is most definitely a situation where everybody gains. You are gaining members, you are gaining opportunities for service, all the things I've talked about. The company itself gains, and I can tell you that to this day, all of our corporate members are very happy to belong to Rotary, and long may that continue. So thank you so much. I shall stop there, and like Ken, be very happy to answer any questions.